We find that in rural India, we have found that the number of overexploited blocks in terms of groundwater development has increased tremendously over the last few decades. So now more than 800 blocks have overexploited. I mean, the groundwater development is more than 100%. So in such blocks, drinking water security is becoming an issue. It is difficult for communities are finding that their drinking water sources are drying up, that they are getting polluted, contaminated, and that the drinking water systems, they are getting outliving their periods, their design periods, and therefore they are not working. So in this context, what we want to do is that by empowering the communities to plan for the drinking water systems, to protect their drinking water sources, by recharging the drinking water sources, by conserving water, by monitoring the supply and demand of water in their area, in their watershed or in the aquifers, and preparing a water budget so that they are able to reduce the water demand either due to irrigation or by reducing wastage of water. They are able to bring about a water balance in their things. So for this, this requires planning by the community, involvement in monitoring, involvement in managing water resources, and also actions to ensure source sustainability for recharge and for water conservation measures. So in this pilot program, what we wanted to do, so far drinking water has been looked at in a silo without looking at its relationship with the other competing users of water. This was possible in previous years when there was not much of water stress. But now with increasing water stress, increasing competing demands from other users like irrigation, industry, and which has been exacerbated by deep drilling of bore wells for irrigation, subsidized or free electricity supply for irrigation. So we are finding that we have identified about 10 districts in 10 states which have more of this water overexploited blocks, and trying to bring in lessons from other projects that have been successful in trying to reduce water demand and bring about water balance. So basically there are a few two successful models which have been tried out. One in Andhra Pradesh called Andhra Pradesh Farmer Managed Groundwater Systems Project, and another in Maharashtra of Aquifer Management. So both these projects have tried to involve the community in monitoring and managing their water resources in a holistic manner, rather than just as looking at drinking water in isolation. So this is what is being tried out in these 10 blocks, trying to build the capacity of the community for monitoring and managing their water resources. Secondly, to integrate resources available under different schemes of NRDWP, National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, then watershed management programs, to take up a watershed based or aquifer based water conservation and water recharge measures in that particular aquifer, so that water supply, overall availability of water increases in that aquifer or in that watershed. And based on this, the community plans for a water security in its own, for its habitation, taking into account its existing domestic water needs and its future population growth, it increasing service levels so that every household has a tap water connection, and so that it plans for whatever additions are required in the system, new schemes are required, or extensions required, or rejuvenation of the schemes or augmentation of schemes are required. So these aspects, that is participative integrated water resource management, is one prong of this approach. The second prong is sustainability, source sustainability through source sustainability planning with a convergent approach of taking funds from different schemes. And the third is drinking water security planning, so that the community's domestic water needs are met. So this three-pronged approach is being tried out in in these 10 blocks that we are taking up, and these are the most overexploited blocks, so that there is a incentive for the farmers, for the local habitants to take up this approach in a way, to adopt this approach and to take it forward, learning from the successful experiences in Andhra Pradesh and in Maharashtra. Well, we've had a very productive partnership with the Water and Sanitation Program and the World Bank. Both these, they have been involved in the drinking water and sanitation sector in India for a number of years, and a number of innovative projects have been taken up in partnership with these institutions, and we hope that this partnership will develop and we will be able to cover more areas of the country for piloting innovative projects, so that they can be upscaled with the funds coming from the Government of India and from the state governments.